I texted Alexis!
I'm sorry for not responding to like one text, David!
Hey everyone, I'm Rebecca and welcome to MsMojo. Today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 best David and Alexis sibling moments on Schitt's Creek.
Well, you didn't have to worry about me.
Well, I did. Because the last time I left you in charge of something...
This is about those stupid Tamagotchis?
Actually, it is. But for what it's worth, I am continuously impressed by you.
For this list, we're looking at the moments that best showcase David and Alexis's complex relationship as siblings on this Canadian sitcom. Can you relate to any of these moments? Be sure to let us know in the comments. All right, let's get to it. Number 10, Alexis Rose's Ew, David.
Alexis, you'd like this product. It's all about aging and dry skin.
Oh my god, ew, David!
Anyone with a sibling can relate to Alexis's seemingly constant disgust and exasperation with her older brother, which is most often conveyed by this simple line. While Alexis may say ew frequently and directed to various different things, it definitely feels a bit more pointed when it's said to David.
Actually, Roland is staying here for a few days.
Ew.
It's disgusting.
Even though she's only said ew David specifically a handful of times, her delivery and facial expressions have made this quote one of the show's most memorable.
I could almost guarantee you that someone's killed themselves in this room.
Ew, David!
This line so perfectly encapsulates so much of her relationship with her brother and sums up why their sibling dynamic is just so entertaining.
Everyone's trying to get their greasy hands on her cheese.
Ew, David.
Number 9. David Rose tells his sister to eat glass.
I just wanted to make sure that everything was okay between you and Patrick.
Yeah? Why? What did he say to you?
No, nothing. Just got scared when I saw your score on this relationship quiz.
Even after David and Alexis both found loving, stable relationships with their respective boyfriends Patrick and Ted, they still couldn't let up on their classic sibling rivalry. After Alexis teases David about his apparently monotonous relationship with Patrick, David immediately retorts with a roast of Alexis's boyfriend Ted.
It's okay, David. You and Patrick have settled into that 9 to 5 life, so things are probably starting to feel a little snooze town.
You're dating a vet who irons his polo shirts.
These siblings are competitive even over their significant others, and in this moment, Alexis is winning. Although they have no reason to compete like this, it's clearly getting to David and irritating him way more than it should.
Sorry that we work hard to keep the sparks flying.
That's disgusting.
The final punchline of the scene is by far the funniest, and is definitely one of David's most quotable lines.
Oh, David. Could be worse. You guys could be a total power failure.
Eat glass.
Number 8. When David learned to ride a bike.
Okay, so you have to keep it upright.
I don't even want to do this.
David, you're gonna feel so good, trust me.
Filled with confidence after learning to ride a bike for the first time, Alexis decides it's time for David to learn as well. And who better to teach her brother but herself? David is clearly reluctant and nervous to learn, but nevertheless trusts his younger sister in this moment.
David, it is 1 foot on the pedal and 1 foot on the ground, and then get the hell out of here,
I
okay?
don't know what that means.
Learning to ride a bicycle is a moment often shared with one's siblings. And it's sweet to see that even though they never learned as children, David and Alexis could still share this experience as adults.
David, the pedals make it move more!
God, he's doing it.
You're doing it, son!
It's an important bonding moment for the family, while never losing any of the hilarity guaranteed with a scene featuring all the Roses together.
Someone get my camera!
Nobody get a camera.
David, over here!
Number 7. When Alexis caught David eating her yogurt. This scene perfectly captures the exasperation and disappointment of finding out that your sibling has eaten a snack you were looking forward to before you could get to it.
Someone keeps eating my yogurt!
What kind of yogurt?
David eating Alexis's yogurt instigates some classic bickering between the two siblings, with Alexis clearly annoyed further by the fact that David shows no remorse for his actions.
I was saving that for after my run, David!
Oh my god, I guess I was saving it for during your run then.
You're like a big dirty raccoon, David.
However, the most relatable part of the scene might be how completely uninterested their parents Johnny and Moira are, despite being in the middle of the scene between David and Alexis.
Oh, Alexis, you're almost 40. If you want some food, prepare yourself some food.
They've clearly learned how to tune out their children's arguments, like many parents of bickering siblings have learned as well. Number 6. When Alexis ate David's leftover cake. It may have taken a little while, but it looks like Alexis finally got even with David for eating her yogurt.
Who picked through my cake and only left the icing?
Who eats the icing?
David questions who ate his leftover cake, and Alexis's nonchalant response admitting to it clearly bewilders and irritates David. He continues to express his outrage while still picking through the rest of the dessert, but this seems to have no real effect on Alexis.
What kind of barnyard were you raised in where you just eat someone else's food?
So you can share a boyfriend, but you can't share a piece of cake?
She even uses David's annoyance as an opportunity to get in a dig about David's complicated love life, which only prompts David to get more defensive.
I'm not sharing a boyfriend. Stevie and I are both dating Jake at the same time, like sexually evolved human beings.
It's always evident these siblings love each other, but they also definitely know how to get on each other's nerves.
Because in my experience with thruples,
We're not a throuple.
when it comes to 3 people, David, there's always a favorite. It's just like how Mom likes you more.
That's not true, and please don't include Mom in an analogy about my relationship.
Number 5. David's long-lasting grudge about Tamagotchis.
I don't know why I'm feeling this deep, aching sense of dread.
David, I'm more than capable of looking after your store while you and Stevie work the flea market.
David doesn't have a lot of confidence in his sister's ability to be responsible, which apparently stems from a significant moment in their childhood. Those of us with siblings can relate to holding on to a similar grudge that, no matter how childish, was still important enough at the time to make a lasting impression.
You can trust me.
Okay, can I? Because the last time I left you in charge of something...
This is about those stupid Tamagotchis?
Actually, it is.
In this case, Alexis's failure to keep David's Tamagotchis alive instilled a deep sense of mistrust in David that has lasted well into adulthood, as he worries about whether or not he can trust her with the store.
You left me with 6 of them, David. Taking care of that many is like a full-time job.
I left you with 6 adult Tamagotchis in perfect health, and by the time I came home, they were all dead.
It turns out David was right to worry, as Alexis does end up causing some problems in Rose Apothecary. So maybe his years-long grudge was justified after all. Number 4. When David helped Alexis get back with Ted. As much as his sister may annoy him, David clearly wants her to be happy, and will do whatever he can to make that happen.
I know that she is different now. I mean, not that different, obviously, but different enough to know that she made a mistake.
Sensing he needs to step in order to help her get back together with Ted, David has a heart-to-heart with him and lays out all the facts to help prompt him to make the next move.
But I think it's important for us to remember that sometimes it does work out. And even though everything inside us is telling us to protect ourselves, when you've got it, don't let it go.
This much-needed talk is ultimately successful, and watching David's face as he sees his sister finally happy again is absolutely heartwarming. No matter how much fans wanted Alexis and Ted to get back together, this episode proves no one wanted to see the couple reunited more than David himself. Number 3. When Alexis learned how much David worries about her. One of the most tender moments between these two siblings happens while David and Alexis are driving back from David's driving test.
You never trust me.
Yes, I do.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
No, and you never take my advice, and I'm always the last person you turn to.
Alexis questions why David never comes to her for advice or seems to trust her, which brings up some long unspoken feelings for both siblings.
You want to talk trust? Stevie and Mom weren't running around the world for a decade and a half with random men, leaving me at home to wonder whether they were okay.
David opening up about how much he worried about Alexis while she was off on dangerous adventures is a crucially important bonding moment for them that never would have happened if they hadn't been forced to move to Schitt's Creek.
I was the one at home not having fun because I was constantly worried which East Asian palace Alexis was being held hostage in this week.
Alexis's response to hearing this is just a slight smile, telling us this was something she really needed to hear and took to heart.
Well, you didn't have to worry about me.
Well, I did.
Number 2, when they each wanted the other to get attacked first. One of the earliest and most memorable fights between these two siblings was after their initial move to Schitt's Creek, as they decided which beds they would take in their shared motel room.
I need that bed.
Why?
Because I need it.
Each of them insisted on taking the bed furthest from the door to avoid being the first to be murdered in a hypothetical home invasion.
Because if someone were to break in here in the middle of the night wanting to murder us, they would attack this bed first. So I need this bed.
This was totally the type of argument only two siblings could have. It doesn't matter that they're arguing over an implausible hypothetical. The only thing that matters in this argument is winning.
So you're saying that you want me to get murdered first? In front of you? And then what would you do? Would you just run away and leave me to bleed out on the floor?
Sort of. That was the plan, yeah.
This was definitely the moment that made audiences realize that the show's writers knew how to capture unique family relationships just perfectly.
You get murdered first.
No! You!
Yes! You get murdered first! David! You get murdered first!
One of my favorite Alexis lines, and maybe one of my favorite lines in the whole show, comes during that driving test episode, where Alexis says, "People aren't thinking about you the way you're thinking about you." It's very true and it's very important. Actually, I like the whole conversation they're having at that time because they're both right. It's very interesting, especially for the sibling dynamic. Anyway, what's your favorite Davis and Alex moment? Maybe it's number one. So let's look through some honorable mentions and then we'll see. When David gave Alexis a much-needed pep talk.
I never thought I'd have to say this, but there is only space in this family for one unstable sibling, and I have held that title for a very long time, so you are going to have to get it together.
Their reactions to Alexis's new helmet.
Well, you're gonna need this.
A helmet!
Came with the bike.
I think you should put it on. I think you should actually, like put the helmet on.
When David gave Alexis a sincere hug.
You what?
I need a hug. David, will you please give me a hug?
Yes, yeah.
David and Alexis meet Ted's girlfriend, Heather.
Wow. Well, this looks delicious. Thank you so much for having us. Well, this quiche is a treat. I didn't know you'd gotten into prepared foods.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. When Alexis walked David down the aisle.
I've thought about it, and I want you to give me away.
This is, without a doubt, the most touching and heartfelt sibling moment in the entire series. And it definitely makes us tear up a little every time we watch it.
Like, I think I'm wearing a wedding dress.
Oh, I know that.
I really wanted to impress you today, and now I feel like I'm ruining your wedding.
I think you're giving yourself a lot of credit. My wedding was already ruined. But for what it's worth, I am continuously impressed by you.
David chose Alexis to walk him down the aisle for his wedding. And although she, in total Alexis fashion, stole some of the spotlight by showing up in a wedding dress, it's still a beautiful symbol of their bond as siblings. It's obvious David is so excited to have his sister there supporting him, and Alexis is clearly incredibly proud of her older bro. This scene truly shows how far these siblings have come since they were fighting over the beds in the motel, and after 6 seasons of incredibly well-written character growth. I wish I had someone to boop here. I'll boop you. Boop. Anyway, be sure to let us know in the comments what your favorite David and Alexis sibling moment is, or if you can relate to any of these moments. Or come tell me on Twitter or Instagram at Rebecca Brayton, or on my YouTube channel. See ya.